Hey guys, how are you? It's been a while I took the vehicle out here. I was traveling for a few days, so I could not put out a video. Anyway, so today, what do we talk about today? Well, why don't I talk about my exhaust? You hear that? Yeah, that's my exhaust note. So, what did I do with my exhaust here? Let me talk about that a bit. So there are two things which I've done. It's not just about the sound anymore for me. I'm too old for that. It's more about the performance. I want the vehicle to perform well. So what I did is, first I bought the slip-ons. I tried the Motor Talk slip-ons initially. Found them very, very loud. Then tried the AEWs and the Red Roosters. Both of them were also too loud, man. Too loud for my liking. Then someone suggested, in fact a lot of people suggested PowerRage. That, it's kind of a good balance. So I spoke to Prem, who runs PowerRage in Coimbatore, and I let him send me a set of PowerRages, right? So he was sweet enough to send them, through a fast courier. I got them in a couple of days, and I fit those in. So the initial reaction with DB killers, or the baffles as they call them, right, was that it sounded sweet. It was a nice balance. Didn't really see a need to remove the baffles or the DB killers, right? So I ran with the DB killers. It looked very stock, close to stock. It sounded very close to stock, and it also improved the performance in a way that some of the restrictions got removed. The restrictions that I had in terms of acceleration, that got removed, and most importantly, it reduced a lot of weight on the bike. The stock exhausts were pretty heavy. The rest of Red Roosters were light, the EWS were light, Motor Talks were light, but I found these to be the lightest of the lot. I have the short cans, by the way. So they were the lightest of the lot, and they were pretty close to the. They did not stick out too much like the stock ones. So cornering or getting in and out of tight spots was not a problem. At the same time, the performance as such, from performance standpoint, they were pretty good in terms of better acceleration. The general feel of the engine, it was breathing a little better. Then recent times, what I did is I wanted to reduce the weight even further, and of course to improve performance, obviously. So what I did is I pulled out the stock headers, and I fit the PowerRage headers, which were almost both these headers put together were around maybe 3.5 kilos, and the stock headers were over each were about 5 kilos. Yeah, so that's how much difference it made. Now what has happened because of that? Two things happened. One is now this is just a tester for you guys to say why, what. Now this is one of the two things that happened. It accelerates much smoother. It sounds much smoother. Yes, a little bit of noise is increased. I've actually removed the DB killers now. I'll tell you why. But the bike feels better, maneuverable, right? All of that. Now, the most important thing that has happened, I haven't dyno tested it to really claim these numbers, but I feel that there has been a couple of BHP increase with this change. At least that's what I feel. Now I have to do a dyno test to actually really know if it really is happening. But the point is, it definitely feels that way. So that's that. Apart from that, the general feel of the bike, right? Because there are two things that got removed, right? Now, one is weight is reduced. Second, the catalytic converter is removed, right? Because these don't come with the catalytic converter. The only exhausts, aftermarket exhausts that really come with a catalytic converter are the SNS exhausts, which are imports, which don't sell in India. They have to be imported from abroad, and they're very, very, very expensive. Really expensive, right? The entire full set comes at about, I think, 50-60k or plus. I don't know, about lakh, close to a lakh, I guess, with the import tax and all that. So now that's something which is to be heights of craziness for me to do. I mean, these headers are not cheap as well, right? These headers are about 15k themselves, just the headers, and the exhausts are another 17 or 18k, right? So this is not exactly a cheap version, but a better alternative to all the import tax. So the catalytic converter gets removed. So when the catalytic converter gets removed, the major restriction which the catalytic converter was doing to meet the emission norms, right, where it was restricting the outlet of smoke, right, to restrict the emission norms. Now that is removed. So basically, when that removes, it basically means you can do this. In your second gear. I'm at third, and this is fourth. So see how the bike maneuvers around so freely. The biting point, the clutch biting point, the changing point, the gear shifting points have now become much more sharper, much more. I can actually take the vehicle to a higher RPM on a first gear. Right? Basically, all the restrictions are removed. It's a free flow engine now. It's a free flow exhaust. So there's no restriction whatsoever. The only restriction which was there was a DB killer, and like I said, I'll talk about it. So I did remove the DB killers as well. The reason I removed the DB killers was, again, I was concerned about the noise while I was trying to remove them. But then, if you need the raw power to exhibit your engine to actually exhibit the raw power, then DB killers are also a restriction. So I removed them. But to my surprise, the PowerRage with and without DB killers don't sound very, very different. In fact, they sound very close to each other with and without DB killers. I mean, they're not as noisy. Of course, when you're on a very high RPM, yes, you would feel the difference, but on a lower RPM, you don't feel the difference. Yeah, I mean, at least cops do not find the difference. So I guess that way it's good. At least better than your Red Roosters, which are very, very noisy without DB killers. So are the AEWs and the likes, right? So having said that, it's actually a very good exhaust, and the entire setup has actually made it very. There you go, cops. Now see, my vehicle just sounds like stock. I don't have any noise unless I rev to an RPM I went to the second gear at 4000 rpm. And I could have gone even further. I could have gone to 4500 rpm or around 5k rpm, where it knocks out of where it starts knocking, right? So that is a major plus with these exhausts, and which obviously has improved power, efficiency of how the engine performs, maneuverability because of the lighter weight, and yeah. So that's the video, guys. This is what I've done, and this is how these exhausts have helped me. I'll put out the links to the exhausts I'll try to put out the links to the exhaust in the video. But what I'd suggest is, if you really want to pick these up, you can I don't know how you're gonna, you just comment back to me. I'll send you my number, and I can get you a sweet discount. So that is that. Thank you for watching, guys. This is a video for you. Thank you. Bye bye.